So let's talk about Jarek Culver, because I've managed to miss him doing all the rookie stuff. I also wanted to give him a little bit more time because he hasn't been very good, so I figure don't react to him right away. Give him a little bit of time to figure it out. I say this after I did a video on Cam Reddish after 4 games, but whatever, it's fine. He hasn't really figured it out. The Wolves are giving him a lot of minutes, 23 a game. He's been starting lately for them. And, well, Jarek Culver's kind of bad right now. This is the only way to put it. Potential certainly there, but I think the first thing you got to look at is his jumper. His form is really weird. I mean, his elbow's flared out. His shot is low. It looks like he kind of pushes it to the basket more so than actually shoots it, I guess. And that's got to be step one, man. I mean, if he doesn't have that, then teams are just not going to care about him at all. He's shooting 43% on free throws, and he's taken like 2 a game, so he hasn't taken like 0. And it's kind of alarming for a guy who in college was, I mean, he wasn't a great shooter, but it was like, okay, we can work with this. I mean, I don't know. His last year, he did shoot 30% on threes. His freshman year, he shot 38 on basically the same attempts both seasons. And his free throws were like, okay. He shot 68% on free throws in college. So to see this big of a drop-off with shooting, it is pretty alarming. Now, to be a little nice to him, he has been forced to take more than no threes with the defender kind of in his face. So take that for whatever you will. Granted, he is shooting 21% on catch-and-shoot threes, so those aren't going very well either, but, you know, just to be a little nice to him. Now if we get to some positives, although the big negative is going to be bigger than all the other things, if he's not amazing as a ball handler and defender and stuff, but to be nice, he does show some potential as a ball handler and as a defensive player. If we start with the handle, he has this sweeping dribble thing where there's not a whole lot of east-west action. It's more just going in a straight line, but he is able to actually get by some dudes. I feel like he's a guy who could be one of those attack right off the catch type players where he just doesn't give the defender much time to really react to him having the ball. And there's potential in that. Now I am a little concerned with, it seems like defenders are able to catch up to him kind of quickly on these things. A lot of these layups that he's getting out of these are pretty contested, but it is still intriguing nonetheless that he is able to actually create some separation off of NBA defenders already. Now, at the same time, the layups are not pretty. He's shooting 58% at the rim, which is pretty good to be fair, but between a lot of them being contested and also sometimes he kind of drives in without a real plan. He just kind of goes for it, and then he picks the ball up and he either hoists it at the rim in some awkward looking layup or whatever else. There's definitely room to improve with all that. I think, number one, just simply going in with an actual idea and not just driving for the sake of driving is cool. I'm not too concerned about that because that's like a pretty normal rookie thing to be bad at. And I wouldn't even be shocked if he had that cleaned up by the end of this season. I mean, I think he has a reputation for a guy who's willing to improve and he works pretty hard, so we hope that he's in the film rooms and all that. And it also helps him that he has the best shooting center like ever on his team, so the spacing's always going to be pretty good. So I think there's potential with all that. Do I think he can be a pick and roll player? Honestly, kinda, yeah. His pick and roll numbers are not bad on NBA.com. He averages about 3 a game. He's in the 51st percentile, which, you know, a lot of rookies would be in the negative a million percentile with that. Now, I'll be honest, I can't find a damn pick and roll from the guy anywhere on the internet, whether I'm looking at his highlights or whatever else. So I'm just going to trust the numbers there, and I'm going to trust the ball handling potential that I've already seen from him. Again, trusting the fact that Karl-Anthony Towns is on his team, that certainly helps you with getting screens from bigs. So, yeah, there's certainly an avenue for him being a player, for being a ball-handling guy. I mean, they've been putting him in there kind of for that. Jeff Teague has been coming off the bench, which, that's a little weird. I mean, I haven't exactly been praising Jeff Teague, but at the same time, putting him on the bench for a rookie it's a decision, we'll say that much. Even so, like the last game, Teague played basically double the minutes of Culver, so I don't really know what's going to happen with that whole thing, but yeah, I think Culver can do some stuff off the dribble, and in time, if he can get a little better at making decisions or predicting what the defense is going to do before he actually makes his move, that he could be a bit of a playmaker. If we get to his defense, I have no real details. He seems all right. I guess the potentially disappointing thing is when I'm watching him, he doesn't look as big as his actual stuff suggests. Like, he's listed at 6'6", with a 6'9" wingspan, and yet when I see him out there, I think he's like 6'4", and I don't know why. Maybe it's because he's not that heavy, and, you know, given that he's 20, I mean, he's got time certainly there, but I don't know, it's a little weird just actually seeing him out there. Like, it's kind of weird. Okogie is 2 inches shorter than Culver, but because he has a longer wingspan and he's heavier, he's effectively a bigger player. But even so, I think Culver's got some defensive potential. And if he just puts on some weight, then that can certainly help him as well. So, yeah. I don't know if I have anything else on Jarek Culver. He's a rookie right now who looks like a rookie. And we're hoping that he can develop one real NBA skill. I mean, I do think he's an NBA ball handler, but he's not an NBA like reader of defenses, I guess. So he's got to figure that out a little bit. I think my prediction with him was like, if he can get the shooting figured out, then I could picture him being Chris Middleton. I don't feel very confident with that right now. And I think I might have said Nicholas Batum for him. That one might be a little bit more of a possibility. I mean, if he really gets awesome with his defense and his playmaking, he could be like Iguodala, but that's a lot to ask for. So I don't totally know what type of player Culver is going to become. There's also a chance that he never gets good at reading defenses and he just sucks, but I don't know. I'm intrigued, you know? I'm not on the Culver hype train because the shooting freaks me out so much, but I am like, you know, keep an eye on this guy. I could picture him carving out a lane in the NBA, and no one's going to know what's happening besides T-Wolves fans. So that's what I got on Jarek Culver. I am optimistic. I mean, you have no choice but to be. His career's only 25 games old, so we'll see how it goes.